Yo, what's up world? It's your boy Phil Co here, reporting live from New Jersey once again. I gotta zoom out. And I'm gonna start a new thing on this channel. Hopefully this one sticks on, because a lot of times I try new things, it goes nowhere. Some other times I try new things and they go somewhere, so I'm gonna try another one. This one is going to be versus. Now, what I'm gonna do with versus is I'm going to compare two different types of people together and see who would win in a confrontation or an altercation. Not violence necessarily, because YouTube doesn't accept violence anymore. A lot of people who are popular, and if they show violent videos, we could be like in trouble basically. They're getting real anal, so to say, about this whole violence thing. So let's get to it. You'll see what I mean. I'll do this one, then after this one you'll get it. Today on Versus, as I call it, or I gotta think of a different name later, but as of now we'll call it Versus. Today on Versus we're going to have the Black American mom versus the Russian mamachka. The Black American mom versus the Russian mamachka. So, how do I have to start this? I have to start this by introducing them to you one by one with the stereotypes and things I've noticed. So first, we're gonna start off with the black woman, the black mom, so to say. The mama, put it that way, right? So, the black mom. Stereotypes of the typical black mom, let's say age 30 to 40. Well, unfortunately, the stereotypes of black women in America are what? Being ghetto, aggressive, animated, and loud, especially when having a confrontation with someone. Being loud and aggressive. Those are the stereotypes. But what have I noticed? Well, they are a little aggressive. They're very strong, naturally strong women. Naturally strong women at this age. Black women are strong, like old, like when they're young, especially when they're young. They're very, very strong when they're young. And then by the time they're like middle age, they're still pretty strong. But as they get older, like reach like 50 or something, it really starts to deteriorate, because we eat a lot of black people in America, we know, eat a lot of bad stuff, and so we don't take care of ourselves that well, and so, you know, we kind of die early, diabetes, you know, we don't eat very healthy, and a lot of us are from areas in which it's not, we don't have the best food around. A lot of people are on public assistance and stuff, so we don't have the best diets. When we get older, you know, it really starts to deteriorate. A lot of us are overweight, so when we're like babushka time, like grandmothers and stuff, or grandfathers, we start getting weaker pretty quickly because we have bad diets, okay? And so, but at the age of 30 to 40, they're still generally strong, usually big, like a little overweight and strong. They're very aggressive moms. They do not like a child who misbehaves or curses at them or something like that. Oh no, if you curse at a black mom, you're getting all this, you're getting it, you're gonna get it. You don't do that kind of stuff. They're known to be much more aggressive than the white mothers with their children. A white mother is known to send her child in a corner for timeout if he's bad. A black woman would knock her child out in a corner if he's bad. You know, it's very different, and these are just some things I've noticed, plus a little stereotyping in there about the black woman, okay? That's the black mom, age 30 to 40. Now, to the Russian mom, which we're going to call the mamachka. Mamachka is a way that a lot of Russian people call their moms and stuff, like, mamachka, where are you, mom, blah, blah, blah. And so, what about the Russian mom? Well, right now I'm going to focus more on Russian moms in Moscow. Now, what I need you guys to know is that Moscow, to a lot of Russians, is known as, it's not Russia. A lot of people outside of Moscow don't like Moscow for many reasons. They feel that people get paid a lot, it's too crowded, there's too many foreigners and all this stuff they complain about, and how Moscow gets all the money, because Moscow has about 70% of all the money in Russia. Russia's huge, and 70% of it is in that one city. That's crazy. That's a lot. And then there's St. Petersburg, which is big, and it can't hold like 70%, so it probably holds, what, 10 or something? But still, that's a lot to just have in one city. So a lot of people are generally against Moscow. But what is it like in Moscow, especially with the mamachkas? Well, they are not aggressive such as black women, but because of the subway transit, the metro system in Moscow, they're known to push and be a little rude, not so much with their mouths, but more so with their bodies. Taking a Moscow metro at rush hour is hell. It's way worse than it is in New York City. So when you do that all the time, you kind of get used to pushing people, bumping into people, and you won't say sorry because it's normal to you, because it happens all the time. When I first went to Moscow, I thought it was because I was black. But then as I looked around, it was happening to everybody. And they wouldn't really argue or fight. You just step on you, push, and it was just normal. And if you want to get into a train and it's crowded, you just push yourself on the train and push everyone and just stand there. And I'm just like, wow, where I'm from, this won't fly. But let's get to the personality of the average Russian mom. Well, from what I see, because I didn't have one, but from what I see of the average Russian mom, they tend to be more passive with people that they're close to. They're much more passive with people that they're close to, okay? But when it comes to foreigners, not foreigners, but strangers, like anyone they just see, they're very tough. They won't back down. They may not yell and be animated. That's not really the Russian way. They're more up close, personal, and they'll talk to you, and if you're going to fight, you're going to fight. They're not very loud. They don't try to scream to intimidate you. They'll say what they mean, and they'll wait for you to say or do something, okay? So I would say the Russian mamashka is more defensive. And is she strong? Well, generally, Russian girls when they're young, they're not very strong. They're usually thin, petite, good looking, but they're not very strong. But as they reach that mamashka age, they start getting some strength. They start getting bigger. And as they become babushka, when they're really old, like let's say 50, 60, they get even stronger. I don't know why Russian women get stronger when they become grandmothers, but I'll talk about that in another video. It's very weird. So with them, oddly enough, with Russian women, it's like they get stronger as they get older. It's very weird, There's many pictures on the internet of like a Russian grandmother, a babushka, holding like a log just by herself. And then you see the Americans doing it, and it's like 6 men together holding it. When it's just one Russian babushka to do it. They get very strong as they get older. But when they're at this age, they're at a, nice, strong, they have a general amount of strength. I think the average black woman is stronger, but the Russian woman at this age is still pretty strong. She kind of gains weight. She gets a little big. She cuts her hair short, and she's not looking for a man anymore. She's just working, living her life. And in Moscow, she's used to bumping into people. She doesn't care. It's just what she does. So, what would happen if these two met? Well, how would they probably meet? Well, odds are meeting a black American woman in Russia is not going to happen. So these two are much more likely to meet where? In America. Because there's lots and lots of Russian people in America, but you don't have black Americans in Russia. There's probably, 1,000 in total? There's not many there. When I say black American, I mean a black person from America. You don't have that there. We don't go to Russia. I do, and maybe 3 other people I know, but that's it. But there's tons of Russians in America. So they would meet in America. So let's see what happens. I have a video here of them meeting. Who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's going to intimidate who, or who's going to be braver, or what's going to happen? Well, in this scenario, we have a Russian woman who's used to pushing, and what happens is she goes to her seat and she pushes a white man, and a black woman sees it. And then this happens.
You done been to jail, what? That's what I thought. I'm going to slap the shit out your ass. You call the motherfucking police. That's what I thought. The police. Shut the medication. Shut up. I'm telling you, shut up. Here, take this seat, because I'm going to slap her.
The next stop is Vermont, Santa
No,
Monica
you okay,
State.
you okay.
Right next to her. I can't hit her, but you sure can.
So will. She gonna push you like that. She better be happy you wasn't black. Or African American would have tore your ass up. Would have whooped your ass. You been in jail? I ain't gonna do it only on the strength. You better watch you in America, bitch. You're in America. They will whoop your ass.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry you had to experience that. I wish it would have been me. I would have bombed on your ass. I'm so mad right now. Yeah, that's what I thought she ain't talking that shit, man. Don't worry, I ain't gonna hit you, man. You're over there. Just get your ass.
Now arriving, Vermont, Santa Monica
Coming
State.
off, you guys.
Here for Los Angeles City College.
Don't do like the white man did. Don't say something I see you on the next train. A week later, I'll whoop your ass.
Go and adopt the child. Okay? They are in jail.
And there you go. So who was the winner? Well, I gotta be honest, and I gotta give it to, it's a draw. Nobody won this one. It's a draw. And I'll tell you why it's a draw. Now, usually, when I see black women behaving like this in an aggressive way, I hate it. I hate it. But at this time, I kind of understand, because in America, our culture, we don't like people being pushed or seeing people push other people. It's not normal to us out here in any city. That is very rude, and you have to say sorry. So we don't play that stuff. So I understand why she was being aggressive. Now, As for the Russian woman, I'm sure she's probably from Moscow. I can tell by her stance. I could tell, well, she didn't move her neck, she was just, I could tell by her stance, and she had the Putin face, just no emotion. I can tell she probably did push that guy because she's used to it, but she didn't think she was doing something really bad because she's accustomed to it. But in our culture, she did do something bad. So all she really did was defend herself, stand up for herself, and show that she was not scared. Moscow is an aggressive place, especially in the metro, and a lot of those people have no fear, and she had no fear. But the black woman, like I told you, is much more aggressive, and she won't mind being loud and giving all these threats and stuff. But the Russian woman, unfazed. She's from Moscow. It's tough. So there you go, people. It is a draw. This is what happens when a mamushka meets a black mom in the metro station, and they go against each other. So next episode, I don't know what I'm going to do. Might do something else interesting. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. And I'm out. Later.